I would die lawyer, Yasharala. Talk to my people on this one, man. Let's get it.
Yasharala, 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 Yasharala.
It's all up in my blood.
Yasharala, 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 Yasharala.
It's all up in my blood.
Yasharala, 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 Yasharala.
Yeah, you know who I do it for. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's for. It's all up in my blood. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's for.
Yes, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, to wherever it is you are tuning in. Welcome to the Search Engine International, and I'm your host, Brother Gocc. Joining me shortly will be Elder Rakar. Wow. Interesting show tonight lined up for you. We have Pastor James Manning coming in with us for the first half. Then we're gonna speak to some atheists after that. I think those of you who know Pastor Manning out there, the famous video, Hebrews. I keep forgetting it. The Israelite Hamite. You can check it out on YouTube. James Manning claims he's a Hamite and he's gonna die a Hamite. So we're gonna speak to Pastor Manning tonight on his views on the Hebrews. It should be a very interesting show coming up tonight. Okay. With me also is Elder Rakar. Elder Rakar, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, man. How's everything?
I'm doing well. I hope you all are doing well. I hope the brothers and sisters out there are doing well. I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. Well, we're waiting here for the guests to come in. We have Pastor James David Manning on. Okay, and for the listeners who don't know who Pastor Manning is, Pastor Manning is the chief pastor at the Atla World Ministry Church on 123rd Street in New York. Manning grew up in Red Stripe, North Carolina, born to an African American family, and has been at Atla since 1981. Atla stands for All the Land Anointed Holy, which is Manning's name for Harlem. His congregation, Atla Worldwide Missionary Church, is a former Bethelite Ministry Baptist church. The church is also the site of the Atla Theological Seminary, which offers classes on preaching and prophecy. And he'll be our first guest tonight. And as you know, Pastor Manning is also famous for the video Israelite Hamite. In the video when he said you'll die being a Hamite. So we're gonna bring Pastor Manning on tonight to discuss some of these issues on. You understand? So while we wait for Pastor Manning, Elder Rakar, is there any announcements you want to make?
Oh, no. Just first of all, I wanted to thank all the brothers and sisters that are participating in the academy. That's going pretty good every Sunday, early in the morning, and I thank the Most High for that. There's a lot of things going on in Bible prophecy right now concerning Syria and Iran, which we all know, especially the listeners for this show, we know that that's prominent in prophecy. While everyone was looking at the Super Bowl and Beyonce shaking it on the world stage and flashing Illuminati symbols and Baphomet symbols to her God, Israel and America together was attacking Syria and doing things and setting up a garrison around Syria. And they usually do this while the whole world is diverted. Also, they're looking to pass legislation through national security, which circumvents Congress, that will disarm all the American citizens. And look like Barack Obama is going to sign an executive order, and a lot of those who don't know what an executive order is, an executive order allows the president the power of dictator. It circumvents Congress, which means the people, the Congress and the Senate and those under him have no say under these executive guidelines. And they have mechanisms in place so that if an event happens, he could bring forth this legislation and executive order at any time to confiscate guns and to make guns illegal altogether. So while everyone was looking at the Super Bowl, that was the real news. You understand? I'm kind of excited to have Pastor Manning on this evening because, you know, one thing about the brother, no doubt about the elder brother, is that he's brave. He's brave, and he does not hold his tongue. Whether or not he's right or wrong, he's willing to bring forth his opinion, and a lot of his opinion is absolutely correct. All right, so, but I know that, you know, that address to the Hebrews, to the Israelites, I definitely want to hear about that. Of course, a lot of us know that we're Hebrews or Israelites, but we don't ascribe to any hate doctrine or anything like that. But I would like to hear, as far as his theologian background, through his theologian background, I would definitely like to hear his take on how was it through Christianity or through any other theology that the blacks in America are from the seed of Ham. I'm interested in hearing that, and I'm more excited. I'm real excited to have him on. Even outside of that, I want to talk about the RFID chip, the things Barack Obama is bringing forth. All right, and you know that he's been following. He's been on Barack Obama like white on rice. So, so if there's anything concerning Barack Obama, Pastor Manning definitely have his ear to the ground concerning him, and he's active in the community. Great man. He looks to help the people, and he deems Barack Obama, as we know, as a threat to our very existence in the black movement altogether. The opinions he's made are well documented, so we don't need to go through all the opinions, but he's been right on concerning him up until this time, and mainstream have been ignoring him, and rightfully so. After him, I'm sure brothers and sisters would like to dialogue. We have an atheist coming on tonight. It's not going to be any, after Pastor Manning, even though, really with Pastor Manning, we have to plan a complete show, almost an hour or two. I mean, this brother has been active in the community. He's been working through the civil rights movement. He's done so much for years. All right, so it'll take a whole 2 hours, an hour show to really talk to him and get down, as he say, to the nitty gritty concerning doctrine, concerning politics, concerning the world affairs and where we stand today according to Bible prophecy. So it would take an hour show to get that all out, but we're going to try to get as much as we can within the time we have with him. And after that, we're going to open up the calls and let at least 2 or 3 callers come in to ask him questions, because I'm sure they would like to ask him questions concerning the Hebrew Israelites, for the blacks being from the seed of Ham. And he have an extended theologian. He have extended theologian credentials. So if anyone could answer how blacks in America are Ham, I'm sure he'll bring forth the information he've learned up until this point. And I'm sure he's open like any other man in this world, that if he receive understanding according to Scripture, he'll examine it and apply it if necessary. And the other part, of course, after him, we have an atheist coming on, not to go back and forth. Listen, we believe in the Bible, we believe in Christ. That will never change. But it's good to hear objective views. to hear, how they perceive there is no God or why they become atheists. And also, he's going to bring some understanding of why maybe others should be atheists. And I'm sure that not too many people will ascribe to his particular belief on this show. But usually there's a core mechanism, there's a core place in which a person becomes atheist, and usually it's because regular religion cannot explain their skepticism. So maybe we can explain a few things tonight. Who knows? It's all in the hands of the Most High. All praises to the Most High, Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya. And tonight we'll do the dialogue and see how it goes. And that's basically it. Of course, just a regular announcement, the webpage finally, we've been talking about it for almost eons now. That will be done, and we wanted to make sure it was rolled out correctly and real nice, because based on the laws they're about to pass with SOPA and everything else, this may be our last webpage we'll be able to design. So we're going to catapult that in a few days. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be sign-in membership. It's going to be daily news. It's going to be a full spread where every day it's new information, prophecy. It's not going to be where you'll go to the site and for weeks at a time it's the same information. It's going to be interactive. We're going to try to make it the best website it can be, and all praise be to the Most High, so brothers and sisters can get the information, be on it real time, according to prophecy. When we know something, we'll be able to upload it immediately, so brothers and sisters will practically live on the site. And our videos, things that YouTube won't allow us to upload, will be uploaded to that particular site. So also, we're excited about that. And again, we'd like to thank all the brothers and sisters out worldwide. This cannot be done without you, your help. We thank you. We thank you because your work helping us will allow us to, if it be through the Spirit of the Most High, to help guide and to help establish something so that when these things fall, at least those in the knowledge of the Most High will have some level of refuge. And that's our only hope, that we can endure to the end and that we can help each other when it's time. As far as when things implode, we'll have a connection. We'll know each other and we'll find each other. So that's about it. Anything else come? We got a few hours here. I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right, Allah. We have Pastor Man in here in the studio with us tonight now, and I'm going to bring him over. Welcome him to the show. Hold on.
Hello.
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 Good evening, Pastor Man. How are you?
Just fine. How about yourself, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm your host tonight. My name is Brother Gocc, and with me also is Elder Rakar.
Bless you.
Well,
yeah, man. And we just like to thank you for taking your time out to come on the show. And,
thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Well, I know you have a limited amount of time with us tonight, so we're just gonna go right into it. Elder Rakar, I'm gonna pass it back over to you.
Yes. Bless you, Pastor Manning, and it's a privilege to have you on this evening. It's a privilege.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, jumping right into it. Everyone online or who have been online have been following, who've been following your web page, your YouTube page. Know that, like I've mentioned earlier, you've been all over the Barack Obama situation. And I know you have limited time, but maybe we'll invite you on down the line in which you can give us an update on where things stand concerning your adamant fight against evil, concerning him. But in particular, what we wanted to ask you is, and you can expound, go anywhere you want, any place you want with this. What is your take on Obama signing legislation that will mandate a two-way frequency RFID chip in the new Obamacare plan? Can you expound on that? What information you have on that?
Well, very limited information regarding that. first of all, let me be clear. I think most people know that I have diagnosed Obama as pure and unadulterated evil, the son of Satan, certainly a representative of Satan in the earth today. And I'd like to also state that many people may just dismiss those identifications as just another preacher using biblical jargon and hyperbole without a true sense of the fact that these are as accurate as we would say Obama's 6 feet tall or whatever. I wholeheartedly believe that. I have staked my life, my well-being, my family, and people that love and support me, their well-being and their safety on the fact that these are true statements about the person of who Obama is. This is not simply preacher hyperbole. That's the first thing. But the other thing is that regarding the chip that the health care program would call for is not necessary. While I don't have a lot of information about it, and I certainly do not condone it or support it in any way, I'm aboard the whole idea of it. But the Bible talks about a mark that you must have to buy and barter. That this chip is not necessarily that. But I think we've come to a time in our world where we're going to be plugged in by way of chips. We carry cell phones, our computers. We can be tracked by global systems no matter where we go. Everything we do is recorded. Every click of the stroke of the computer is recorded. So it is not unreasonable to think that they're going to make the ultimate step and implant in us a tracking device, and all the world is going to say, this is a wonderful thing, because it diagnoses our health situation right away, gets the information to the doctor instantly, lives will be saved, and yada, yada, yada. So that's about all I can say about that. It's coming, and nobody's going to turn it around.
Okay. All right. The next thing I wanted to ask you is, have you been up on the executive orders he's looking to pass as far as the mandate to disarm America? What do you think about that?
I think it's a power grab. It is one of the oldest warfare tricks in leadership, tyrannical leadership, to disarm the people, especially when you consider in America there are some nearly 300 million guns in America. We're strapped to the teeth here in this nation. And if there is an uprising or government, there's some sort of a revolution that takes place, the government will be outgunned. And so taking the weapons would be the first way to have a sense of overpowering the people. And let me point out to anyone who thinks that stricter gun laws are somehow or another going to make Americans safe. New York City and New York State has some of the strictest gun laws you can find anywhere. I mean, you're more likely to have a gun in a federal prison as an inmate than you can have a gun here in New York State. But yet the deaths continue. And the same thing with cities like Chicago and states like Illinois, or in the most recent mass murder in Newtown Sandy Hook School. Connecticut also has some of the strictest gun laws, but it doesn't stop anything. So what it does do for those who want to be able to take guns, that they might be able to promote tyranny, and that's the reason why these gun laws, Obama's pursuing these mandates to take your weapons away from men.
Okay, well, so what will you think, what's at the end of this? What do you think will come from?
I think this is one of the areas where Obama's going to lose. I think the American people, had he tried this maybe 3 years ago, he probably could have gotten it through and could have arrested anybody who resisted. But I think there's too much water on the bridge about people now suspecting that Obama is evil and that he wants to start a revolution in this nation. And I don't think he's going to win this one. I don't think he's going to win. I think that the legislation will not pass, but the revolution will come. There will be tyrannical issues going on 2 years out from now, we're going to see a much more hostile America. We're going to see many more people rioting, the government becoming increasingly more of Big Brother. 2 years out, it's starting now, but 2 years from now, we'll be in a totally different world in terms of individual freedoms, religious freedoms, and the likewise.
Yes, I think you probably need to expound on that. I know some of the listeners here are wondering, okay, you say things will change drastically within a few years. What are the what are the changes that you see coming?
The government becoming increasingly more restrictive in terms of constitutional rights, Obama displaying more of his deep-seated desire of power and resistance to that, where I don't know how old you are, but if you remember the social civil rights movement of the 60s, coupled with the protests against the war in Vietnam, that the government was wrong for the Vietnam War and streets and violence and rioting, that was a very turbulent time, the 60s. We're going to see the 60s on steroids in the next couple of years as people began to suspect and witness that the government is tyrannical, that Obama is indeed using his evil prowess to gain power. Let me try to put it this way as well. Someone said that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Most people who run for the office of the president of any nation are very egotistical, and they don't want to give that power up once they get it. And though the term limits force them out, if they could stay in power, they generally do. Now, in order for Obama to stay in power, which I'm stating and have stated that he will do beyond 2016, he's got to destroy the Constitution and destroy anybody who opposes it. When people began to oppose Obama's policies, then you're going to see the confrontations in the streets, the rioting, the marching, the hate-filled government activities towards its citizens, such as what you see in Syria now with Bashar Assad trying to hang on to power, and there's a revolution going on to unseat him, or as we have seen in other nations. It has happened in our nation before. It happened in the 60s, perhaps in the most dramatic way, with a large number, what one might call a perfect storm of social unrest. You had the civil rights movement where black people were demanding that Jim Crow end and that they be given equality in America, which was a separate movement all unto itself. Spawning out of that was a black nationalist movement led by Malcolm X, Muslims, the Black Panthers, and other groups that were more militant, that believed that the civil rights movement of Dr. King, turning the other cheek, was not the answer, that you needed to take the white man down with violence. So the Black Panthers were born, the Muslims grew in power. And in addition to that, you had the protests by white America against this war in Vietnam, the deaths of that was splattered across the news channels every night of young people, black and white, dying in Vietnam. Then there was a social, sexual revolution that was also going on in the 60s, where people were throwing off the constraints of the Victorian sexual idea and wanted to have free love, free drugs. So the 60s were a very tumultuous time, extremely so. What I'm simply saying to anybody who thinks it's not going to return is just look back and see where we've come from. We've had it before. This time it's going to be a whole lot worse.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for expounding. One last point before we transition into the next, to the next segment here is we wanted to ask you about the financiers, those that have backed Obama and want Obama in. And I mean, this goes beyond the black constituency or just black people. Why do you think the powers that be would like Obama or have backed Obama throughout the duration? They have hid, of course, they have hid his identity as far as birth. They have hid his background. Why do you think that the government powers want this particular guy as president now?
Because he's just purely good for business. He's good for Wall Street. He is good for television. He is good for advertising. We've never seen political campaigns spend as much money as the last two elections with Obama. The sensitivity, the black and white tension between sexuality, black men, white women, a black man leader, racism. It's just good. He's just good for business. Now, as far as Wall Street is concerned, Obama is business. He's a pro-business person, though he tries to pass himself off as a man for the little people, for the 99%ers, if you will, people who are making less than that. Well, $250,000 is one benchmark, but people that are poor and struggling, he tries to pass himself off as that. But he isn't. He is really for big business because he realized that the bankers control the world. Money, nothing moves, no political campaigns, no wars can be had. You can't win an election without money. I don't care how good you are, what your policies are. You could be Mahatma Gandhi or Dr. King. If you ain't got no money, you're not going to win an election. Money talks. And Obama understands that, and big business understands it. And moreover, Obama is not just seeking money from big business. He loves promoting big business. He loves the idea of a few people controlling the wealth and resources of the world. Obama's not about the idea of everybody having an equal bite at the apple, an equal share of the pie. He's not about that. He's an elitist. He believes that a few people ought to tell the other people what to do. They're too ignorant to use money wisely. And the more you can take from the poor and give to yourself, the better off you are. So Wall Street supports him. And the other thing is that the Democrat Party, nearly every black person on the planet is on Democratic welfare. That is to say that the Democrat Party loves to dole out food stamps, welfare package programs to black people to keep them from ever thinking about starting a business and making $1 million a day on their own. As long as they're getting them food stamps, they're not going to think about rising up to do anything else, which leaves the millionaires, the billionaires, doling out a few taxes to take care of a whole 10 million black people while they're making themselves $10 million a day. It's difficult to try to explain that to people, especially those who vote Democrat. But Obama's big money man. He's a big money business person.
Okay. Man, I can speak to you all night. We definitely have to have you on just a show exclusive for you. Let me ask you this, sir. Why is Israel supporting Barack Obama? Why is it that they have supported him? I know that it seems like there's a schism there, but I mean, on the surface. But it seems like everything the war machine wants, Obama delivers. And it seems as if he's in bed with Israel. I mean, I don't want to go too far into that because the next point is the key point that I wanted to talk about outside of Obama. But what's your take on his relationship with Israel?
It is a sickness that the Israel supports Obama. That's just the best way to describe it. It's a sickness, but let me try to expound on it a little bit. There are a couple of things. The white racist people in America who feel that black people are substandard, that they do not qualify as total human beings in a major way, that they can't compete with white folk. Or I mean, you put black folk on the basketball team or baseball, then they'll run rings around white folk. But in terms of building communities intellectually, blacks are inferior. So they thought these racist white folks said, well, here's one that speaks well, he conducts himself well. Let's vote for him as president, and it will allay all of our concerns about our racism, and it'll say, look at us, how liberal we are. We don't hold it against black people. We're willing to let a black person be our leader, the highest nation. And so white racist people felt that they were healing themselves and they felt good about themselves when they went to their cocktail parties and snorting their cocaines and living in their lavish lifestyles out in Hollywood and every place else. Oh, look how wonderful we are. But it's nothing but racism. That's all that it was. Now, the liberal Jews, on the other hand, do have concerns that they have oppressed Muslims, or with respect to Israel and Palestine, they have a sense that they have dominated them, suppressed them, oppressed them, and all of the other things that go along with the relationships over the past 50 years between the Jews and the Muslims. And so many liberal Jews feel, oh, well, let's vote for a man with a Muslim name to show that we don't hate Muslims, to show that we can bow ourselves down to a Muslim, one who has a Muslim name, a Muslim father, an African name. Oh, it's the best of all worlds. He's black, he's a Muslim, and we can show how liberal and how gracious we are towards groups that we have been accused of maligning. And so let's vote for him for those reasons. And then the third and a smaller reason being is that Jews, for whatever reasons, are crazy Democrats, and that just doesn't make any sense. Now, why they vote Democrat because they believe that Republicans hate them. There was a lot of anti-Semitism coming up out of the South, the Ku Klux Klan, and Republicans embracing that idea, and so Jews are very suspicious of the Republican Party because of anti-Semitism.
So that's about it. You think they just support him just because they're liberals, as far as Israel as a whole?
Yeah, well, yeah. They are liberals, and I think the other thing I could say about this is that Jews have lost their connection with the Word of God. They have. Jews today are acting like the Jews were during the days of Jeremiah and the days of Isaiah and the days of Elijah. They're going crazy. And God had to come in and move them, send them off into captivity into Babylon. He had to send the Assyrians down into the northern kingdom and decimate them and carry them away captive. And during the days of Elijah, they sent Elijah up there to get rid of all the prophets that were lying and supporting Jezebel and Ahab. It's the same thing going on today with the Jews. They're just as bad. Except, now that's not that. Let me just qualify. A number of Jewish people, a small number of Jews, they loathe Obama, and they are not departed. They have not departed or abdicated the authority of the Word of God. They do not vote for Obama, and I need to be clear about that. And not all of them, but a remnant of them still remain faithful to the power of the Word of God.